We're recording at long last. All right. Now, let me ask you all a question. 3 divided by 2. What's the answer here?
1.
Huh? Who said that?
Me.
Who is me? Mia still?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Can you explain to your classmates why that is right? Explain that.
Because 2 can only go into 3 one time, and it's not going to take the rest of the fraction.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a different way. If I do any arithmetic on 2 whole numbers, the result is a whole number. In C++, any arithmetic on whole numbers produces only a whole number. Are we clear on that? Is everybody, what did I just say? Somebody repeat it back.
Any whole numbers in C++ produce whole numbers.
I'm going to say it a different way. Any arithmetic using whole numbers produces a whole number. Answer. Are we straight on that? Now, what if we do this? What if we say 3.0 divided by 2? What's the answer? Do the rules change?
No.
You better say yes.
You just said that any arithmetic with whole numbers goes to whole numbers.
Do I have
Oh, 3.0 isn't a whole number.
Thank you. Yes. So what's the answer here?
1.
No, 3.0 divided by 2 is point something.
It's not. I'm gonna get y'all.
3 divided by 2 is not 1.
What is it?
I don't know. It's point something.
1.5.
This one good, y'all. This was really bad. Y'all are too slow on that one. You're too slow because the rules have changed. Whole numbers only produce whole numbers. Whole numbers only produce whole numbers only. Only whole numbers. Now, here's what happens, and this is where you have to pay a little attention, because the rules do change when the data types aren't the same. This is a float, this is an integer. What is the answer? A. What's the data type here? A float. Float operated on with an integer produces a float. It's almost like having a float here, Jax raises the game, isn't it? The rules change because the data types are not the same. So whole mixed with a float produces a float. That's the rule. So when I give you 3 to divide by 2, you got to make sure which rule to apply, because there are 2 rules. It's determined by data type. What's going to happen here? What's the value of x divided by y? Uh-oh. Can't be too nice. Let me be like this.
7.
Okay, do it that way. It's easier. X divided by y produces what? Well, don't jump to the gun, because we're going to say we have a float divided by an int, correct? Or is it the other way around? Okay. Got it? X is an integer, y is a float. So we have a integer divided by a float. And what kind of answer are we going to get?
A float.
Whatever we do, the answer is going to be float. Why? If it's mixed. If it's mixed. Now, what's the stronger kind of number? Is a float or is a decimal number stronger than a whole number? Is a
No.
decimal number stronger than a whole number? Okay. Next time I pay you for working, I would just drop all the cents out of the calculation. So instead of getting $125.99, you would get $125. What am I trying to get across?
Floats.
Which number is stronger?
The decimal.
Thank you. Why? Because you get paid more. You can get some cents. Y'all follow that?
Yes, sir.
A float carries more information than an integer. Furthermore, any integer can be represented as a float. Agreed? Agreed?
Yeah.
Is the
Agreed.
opposite true? Can any float be represented as an integer? No, not exactly. 3.5 as a float ends up being 3. Which one is more accurate, 3.5 or 3?
3.
If I have 3.5 to start with, and if I represent it as an integer, I will have to call it a 3. Which value is correct, 3.5 or 3?
3.
3. 3.5 is more correct. The point is you got to give up something to store a float as an integer. You got to lose information. All right. I want to see some hands here because I'm working real hard, real hard. Hands, how many understand what we just talked about floats and integers? You see some hands, okay? How many understand the rules of combining? You can clear. How many understand the rules of doing operations just with integers? What's the answer? Integer calculations, arithmetic on integers always produces what?
Integers.
Integers.
And
Arithmetic on floats produces what?
Float.
floats.
Operations with integers mixed in with floats always produces a
Float.
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 Now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right. Good. Now I think we need to switch over. How many have your Codio up?
I can pull it up.
Y'all get your Codio up because we got to talk more about input. Because in C++, probably the most difficult thing you're going to do is input because there's a lots of differences in the data that you can type in. And the rules for doing input are very strict. And we got to learn that. I'm going to take a smoke or something like that, smoke break, and I will reconvene in 7 or 8 minutes. I need you to be in Codio. I need you to get a program shell that doesn't have much in it. You can take an old program that you had, duplicate it, rename it, and strip out most of the stuff, because we're going to do some work dealing with whole numbers in a minute. All right, so I'll be back in a bit. Take care. All right, Sam. Calling Sam.
Hello?
Okay, were you here on time or you came a little later?
I came a little later.
Okay, how you doing?
Good.
Okay, Mia, show me your faces, guys. New folk, let me see who you are now. Show me your face, Sam. Mia, you guys show me your face.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it to work.
Okay. Who else came in later? Just you two? Excellent.
Can you see me?
I got you, I got you, I got you. Half of y'all look like y'all are reclining in some way, right? Like laying on the couch or something. Is that right?
That would be correct.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Okay. Okay. So we just talked about data types, numeric data types, and the fact that they can be mixed together, they can be kept to themselves. When you mix them together, you got to realize that one is stronger than the other. So that determines how operations perform. We're going to talk about whole numbers now, about reading integers. And I'm gonna learn you some things, as my grandma used to say. I'm gonna learn you something. So I am not going to Codio because I use something else that's just easier for me, and I'm gonna use what is easier for me. If that's okay to y'all. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Why does your desktop look like that?
Because I've been on this computer for probably 4 to 6 years, and I just do stuff. Plus, I
That's
have my grandson plays around on here, so it's got a lot of stuff.
that's so stressful.
And you really ought to mind your business too.
Hey, I'm sorry. Just freaked me out.
That could explain why I can't get anything done. That could be it. So let's get in here. This thing, you guys. Okay. So I'm going to share again. And I need you to be in Codio. I may call on some of y'all. Okay. I don't know how to say this. Let me say this well. The stuff we're getting ready to do makes no sense if all you do is listen to me. You may as well go do something. You need to be engaged in trying stuff. All right. So I implore you, get on your computer, go into your Codio, and let's get busy. Share screen. And I'm going to share this guy. Share. All right. All right. Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Can you see it well? Everything good and clear? Do you need a larger font or is it okay? It's okay.
Try
Right.
typing something.
Oh, sorry. Is that
No,
okay?
that's fine.
Need it bigger?
No, that's
No.
good.
All right. I'll make it a little bigger. I'm so angry, man. I meant to pause the recording. Mia,
Yes.
you are the directress, okay? You started this recording. You got to say, what do you say in the movies when it's to cut, all right?
Okay.
You remember you got to say roll and cut. Got it?
Yeah, I'll remember.
All right, because you're in charge. I don't trust myself. All right. Now, I'm just going to go and make a shell of a program. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm letting y'all see that this ain't hard to do. Is that clear?
Yes.
And you really need to know how to do this. You ought to be able to say, if I don't have anything else, my shell of a program can't be cussing, can't be cussing, can't be cussing. Wow. All right. So it's the shell. All right. And I'm going to do some of the stuff that you see on the other in the notepad about reading some stuff, and you're going to see what happens. And I'm going to read in. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what I read, just so we can see what happens when different things occur. So I'm going to write a simple program here that, oh no, this is going to be messy. May not be able to, okay, you may not be able to see it. Okay, so this is a simple program. Back and forth, okay. And I'm going to enter 44, and I read 44. How many of you are trying to keep up with this? How many give a flip? How many trying?
Me, I'm trying.
Me.
Yes, I am.
Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get
I'm
busy.
trying to get it set up.
Okay. Sometimes you can take an old program, duplicate it, and take the guts out, right? That's the fastest way. Because I'm getting ready to show you how hard it is to do input. And I'm going to try to explain to you why. What's a program? What does a program do? Input, process, output. So in a sense, what's the most important part of a program?
Input.
Input. If you get that wrong, nothing else matters, right? So we're going to work on making sure that works. I've just shown you that if my input is a whole number, all is well. I'm going to do the same thing again. This time I'm going to give it something that's not a whole number. Like I'm going to give it the letter A. Okay. I'm going to run it again. Give it 4.478.
Wait, so Dr. Jones, you just putting the input there and then the number spitting out the end?
Let me remind you. The program says read a number and output what was read. Is that clear? The program simply reads a single number. It expects it to be an integer, and it will output what was read. That's all I'm demonstrating to you.
Okay.
So if you give me I'm going to do one more. I'm going to say what I'm going to type in is going to be 5 spaces, 87, and some spaces. Oh, shoot, I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to give you 72, and it's a whole bunch of spaces. Okay. Let's try to reconstruct. Which of these worked, which did not work? What worked? What about the last thing? What worked? I typed in 72 and some spaces afterwards, and 72 was read. Is that a success or failure? Do I have?
Success.
If I type in 72 followed by 5 spaces and I read a 72, would you say that's success? Somebody
Yeah.
needs, yeah, man. Okay. What did I do? I typed in a bunch of spaces followed by 87 and I read an 87. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So What would you, based upon this simple case here, a bunch of spaces and then a whole number, it reads it. Do you get the impression that if the number I'm trying to read has a bunch of spaces in front of it, it skips over all that stuff and picks up the number? Is that what you're seeing? When I start reading, the spaces that come, what we call the leading spaces don't matter. I just go pick up an 8 and a 7 and I hit something else and it said, woo, that's the number, 87. What about this guy here? I type in a decimal number, 4.478. What gets read?
The 4
And it stops where?
at the 4
No, it stops at the,
decimal.
no, it actually stops at the decimal point. It reads a number, when it hits the decimal point, it says, this is a whole number, it doesn't have any decimal points, so I stop, right? So if the number you wanted to read was 4.478, it will not work if you have an integer variable. Are we convinced of that? If you try to read a decimal as an integer, it only picks up the integer part, everything to the left of the decimal point. Is that clear? I got a feeling I'm talking to myself.
Yes.
I got a feeling I'm just talking to myself. If that's not the case, y'all need to tell me something. Tell me something good, right? Need to skip some more lines so I can sort of separate stuff. All right. Okay, let's try some more inputs. Some more inputs. Now let's do that. Let's try to run this thing and give it a signed number, plus 41. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm becoming disoriented. I need to see some faces now because I'm getting concerned. Hands, how many are trying this? Hands up. If you're not, don't raise your hand. How many are trying this? Eddie.
My computer's acting up, so I'm using my phone for Zoom.
That won't work. That won't work. Okay. McCluster. Brian. Aaron.
My laptop is moving extremely slow right now.
Go ahead.
I'm here. I'm just a little lost on how you get to the
I am not using Codio. You guys are using Codio. Okay, I'm not using it because just I have too much burden on my browser. But y'all see what I'm doing, correct?
yes.
Sir.
Now I cannot overemphasize how important it is for y'all to do this. Okay, you gotta go and play with this. We're using a sandbox to experiment to find out what works, what doesn't. All right. So
I have it up. Like I've got it in Codio. I'm just confused on like, because you're not in Codio, I'm trying to figure out, so you're putting the numbers in. Where would you put the numbers in the program to
Just
spit
wait.
out the numbers that you're?
Okay. We're gonna use you as a guinea pig. Share your stuff. Aha! Share it, and we're gonna see what you got. Okay. The good news is you're not by yourself. Okay. Is she by herself?
I'm right there with you.
Heck no.
I'm right there.
All right, come on, Mia. And they thank you. They thank you so much.
We really do. We definitely do, my friend.
God bless you, man.
Can y'all see it? Can you see where I am?
Not yet.
You can't see my screen?
Yeah,
I see
I
it.
can.
Where? Oh, I see it. I got all this stuff on
Okay.
top of everything. I got y'all's mugs out here.
All right. So I have the program written up how you have it. Except mine's called week 4 because that's what I called it.
It doesn't matter. Now you just need a terminal. You need another terminal where you run it.
So
Terminal.
just
Tools.
compile and run.
Tools. No. Tools.
Compile and run does the same thing.
I wish y'all wouldn't do that.
Why?
Okay. Because
I'll do it your way.
you're avoiding learning how to type 2 little commands that you need to know how to do. All right. I'm
Okay.
just telling you.
I
Compile
did
it.
terminal.
G++. Just G++
Yeah, I know.
in the file. Leave me alone now. Okay. Don't be fussing. I'm the only one who can fuss.
Week.
If you hit a tab, it'll do that for you. Hit a tab. Just hit a tab. Hit a tab.
Didn't recognize it.
Because the file has an N in .cpp.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Your source file must say .cpp. Everybody knows that, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Okay. Okay. Now
Okay.
let's go ahead and compile it.
Okay, G plus.
Hit tab. Just hit tab. Hit tab. Stop
I
typing.
hit that.
Okay.
Then I grabbed it.
So you were kind of messed up to start with. Get on back in there. Get on back in there. Get on back. Don't try to understand it. When you get a bunch of errors, it means you did something very simple. Now take a look. Where's your file? Line 11, 12, and 13, and 14.
Yeah.
All that stuff should not be there. You were mimicking what I was doing.
Yeah, that's what you asked us to do.
No, I asked you to mimic what I did inside the file. Kill that. Kill the next line, because you got stuff that's not C++. Line 11 needs to go. And you're going to be fine after that. You're
Anything
good now.
else?
You're good. You're good.
All right, let's try this again.
Somebody help the man. Capital W and a tab. That's all you got to do.
I recommend
Capital
typing in
W.
clear. I recommend typing in clear first, so then
Yeah, thank you.
all of that information.
Okay.
We're getting there.
There we go. It's driving me crazy.
It's okay. Just, there you go. There you go.
Still
Right.
says there's an error.
You got another variable up there that doesn't make sense. Get
Your
on.
C out has an N.
Oh,
Misspell.
I'm done.
Misspell. You're not dumb. Everybody makes mistakes, okay? That's why y'all need to be doing this stuff so you can make your mistakes and learn. Okay. Now let's run it. // // // // // then a dot out // // a dot out // a dot out // a dot out. Now you got to enter a number. Enter a number. Just enter a number now. Type in a number.
I typed in a number.
Okay, you got it. So
Yeah, but what is this program doing?
it's just outputting the number that it reads. I'm showing you. I'm okay. Stop sharing now. Stop sharing. Okay. What is the point? I'm trying to show you how you can mess up your input. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
That's all I'm trying to show you. So if I run this thing and just say, come on. So if I say and don't worry about what I'm doing. And if I enter 14, it's a whole number, right? If I run it again and enter 15.44, I don't read the decimal number. If I have an integer variable, I cannot read a decimal number. I'm trying to learn you that, right? Oh, can we say check on that? Can we say check?
Check.
All right. Now, I'm showing you that if I say I'm going to enter plus 44, it reads it. If I'm going to enter a negative number, it reads it. Okay?
Wait, can you share your screen?
No.
Oh.
Somebody help the man. Somebody help the man. Somebody help the man. Y'all got it? And then we can put some crazy stuff in here. We can say, let's run this thing and let's put a minus 44 and see what happens. And what just happened? You were trying to type
That's not
in,
minus 44.
so it cannot read it. What do you get instead?
Like a, I can't even explain it.
No, there's a word for this. Hiya!
What would you use for it?
No, you gotta listen to me.
Okay.
I'm showing you that if you give me bad input, I can't read it. What is this guy right here? This number.
A negative in.
I have a name for it, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. I have a name for,
Negative whole number?
I want to turn this. This thing makes me so angry. Shoot. This is too crazy. This number that you get here, should your program go ahead and try to use that number as the input? Should it?
No.
No, because there's a word for this. Are y'all ready for this word?
Yes.
What is this word?
Garbage.
Garbage. It's worse than that. There's more to it than this. This is garbage in. What happens when you get garbage in?
You get garbage out.
Thank you. So what can cause garbage in? Just put in the inputs wrong. Is there anything wrong with the program, y'all?
No.
No. So where's the error? In the input.
But didn't you just input negative 44?
I put it in right because I put a negative and then a space and then a 44, and that's garbage. If I want a negative number, can I have a negative sign and then a space, or do I have to say dash and then a number directly?
A
You
number
understand?
directly.
Yeah. An integer can be a signed number, so it can be no sign at all where it's a bunch of digits. Or if it's a sign, the sign must be followed immediately by digits. Check. Otherwise, you get garbage. That's the point I'm making to you. Are we good? Is this worth anything to y'all, or should I just quit this? Should I just quit
No,
this?
that's good.
No,
That's
I
good.
got
That's
it now.
good.
Now that I
Okay.
got the program running.
Yeah. Now, we're not finished, because you're going to write programs later where you got to read different kinds of things. And if you do it wrong, you'll never get, your program will never appear to work. So let's try something. Let's go back to the script now. I'm wasting time. This is a waste. This is a waste. Okay, I'm getting frustrated. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read two numbers now, not just one. I'm going to read two numbers. And we're going to say, okay. Wasting time. Wasting time, wasting time. Okay, I'm going to show you again. This time we're reading two numbers. We're reading two numbers, and we're going to output each of the numbers to see what we get. That's all we're doing.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to look at different ways of reading two numbers. First way we're going to do it is we're going to put space 33 space 77, and that's it.
Okay. Wait, Dr. Jones, did you have 3 N's at the end?
Yeah, I'm just making sure when I run this, it clears some space so I can see, so I can see the differences. If it jams it all together, it's hard to see where we are. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's do this again. So we're going to give it space 33, 44. And I will not have a baby. Am I going to have a baby here tonight? Am I going to have one tonight? 1, 2, 3. Oh, made an error, didn't I? Y'all see what I did? I had 2 sets of less wrong, okay. How many of y'all saying, Dr. Jones makes mistakes too? How many of y'all saying that?
Me.
I'm glad you noticed that, because it happens, my friend. It happens, it happens.
No, it's perfect.
Especially when you start doing this kind of stuff, you realize how human you are. Is everybody happy that we read this?
Yes.
I typed in the 44, some spaces, and 88. Let's separate the numbers by commas now. Ready? I'm going to say 44 and 88. And what do we see?
I don't know. I have a mistake in my program. Hold on.
Wasting time. Wasting time. Does it work, y'all?
No.
Why does it not work? Let's get to the bottom of it. Why doesn't it work? I'm going to tell you. It doesn't work because the rule is the following. If you're trying to read a number, if it's an integer, I got to get a digit, and I can keep getting digits. When I hit something that's not a digit, like the comma, I have finished reading. So at that point, I have picked up 4 and 4, and that's the number 44. What caused me to stop reading the first number is the comma sitting here. That's what caused me to stop. Now, when I try to read the second number, where am I beginning? What's the first thing I see? I see a comma and 88. That's what I see. I start at the comma. What am I trying to read? I'm trying to read a whole number. What does a whole number consist of? It consists of an optional sign. It could have a sign followed by immediately by a digit. So when I first start reading, I see a comma. Is it a digit?
No.
No. If it's not a digit, then I say I can't read this. I cannot read it. I cannot go beyond the comma. When I'm looking for whole numbers, I cannot. The only thing I can pick up is digits and spaces. So the whole reading halts right here. it gets jammed up here. It cannot go beyond this point. Is that clear?
Yes.
So if I have multiple values to enter, do I separate them by commas or spaces?
No.
Everybody. If I have multiple values to enter, how do I separate the values? With commas?
Spaces.
With commas?
No, spaces.
Can I put an H in front of the no? Like heck no? Y'all can take it as strong as you need to be. I cannot separate my values by commas because commas will jam you up. It'll stop the reading process. Do I need to say it one more time? I
No.
can't say it again. If you got multiple values, how do you separate them? What did we do up here, y'all? How did we separate them here?
Which space?
Spaces. If I got multiple values, separate them by spaces. Does it matter how many spaces?
Nope.
No. Doesn't matter how many spaces, as long as it's at least one, right? All right. That's the lesson of this thing. I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna run it again. Yeah, this was probably a waste. I was trying to get something over to you. I'm not sure it's working. I am not sure this time. Let's run it again. Run it again. This time I'm going to give it 4.77 and 18. Can someone please tell me what's going to happen? I'm trying to read two integers. What will the first value be that I read?
Four.
Why?
Because there's a dot and you're not supposed to have punctuation is not the right word, but that's what I'm
What you're saying, I cannot have something that is not a space or a digit. So where does the reading stop? For the first number, where does the reading stop?
The 4.
No. It reads the 4. When it reads the 4, it's like it consumes the 4. So where does the reading stop?
At the dot.
At the period, right? At the dot. So when I get the first number, I've got 4. That's an integer. So that's going to be fine, right? Check. When I try to read the next number, what is it going to be? It's going to be looking at dot 77.
So
What's going to happen when I try to read the second number?
It's going to come out 0.
No, it's going to be stuck on the dot. Is it clear that this dot is a showstopper?
Yes.
So therefore, it won't read anything. It will give you some crazy value, but it won't be a value that you read.
Okay, then maybe my program's wrong because my program just gives me zeros.
Okay, there's a reason for that, and let me give you the reason. Don't like it. I'm sorry. This is my day to be ill-suited for this, okay? I won't try to explain it. So let's go ahead and do this and see what we come out with. What do we have? We have 4, and we have another number 4. But is 4 the second number?
No.
N2, the value we got for N2, what do we call this again? The value that we read for N2, what do
garbage
we call?
in.
It's garbage. This is garbage. Why? What caused the garbage? Please, what caused the garbage?
The period, the dot.
The decimal point caused the garbage when I'm trying to read integers. You might read one thing okay, but the second thing you're doomed. You can't get to it. Have I worn this out? I think I've worn, I can't say it anymore. Woo. Okay, let's try this. What a day. The thing that you need to learn is this, okay? This is how the operator greater works. Greater scans for characters that match the data type. It scans for characters that match the data type. I'm gonna use this here. This means this little caret here means a space. Is that okay? That caret means a space. 4, 4, space, 8, 8. This is saying that when I'm trying to read something, I got to know the data type of what I'm reading. So when I say CN N1, the compiler says, what's the data type of N1? If N1 is an integer, you can only have a leading sign followed by digits. So, and the scanning says if you begin at white space, skip over all the white space and start picking up characters that are not white space. If it's an integer, the characters need to be digits. Keep scanning. So I will scan a 4 followed by a 4. When I hit the white space, I am finished. So I will stop on the first white space. So if I'm reading two values, I read the 44 first, I stop on the white space. When I have to read again, I start in the white space, skip over everything, get to the 8 and get to the 8. And when there's nothing after the 8, like a space or something, it'll pick up 44 and 88, all right? If you hit something that's not a valid character, it just stops on that. All right, let's end that, okay? Second thing we're gonna talk about is strings. How do you read strings? So let's go back in.
Strings regarding a name, right?
A string is just a sequence of characters.
Okay.
The string could have meaning, but it's just a sequence of characters. Anything you can type, basically, okay? So let's make sure I'm go back in here. This has been a mess. This has been a dang mess. A mess. Whew, what a mess. Okay. So let's suppose we're going to do strings now. Okay. So this time we're going to read one string. Oops. Okay. We're going to read strings. We're going to read just one string in the beginning. You're going to be surprised at what we see when we do this. Again, all we're doing is reading a single string, and we're going to output what we get. All right. How many are making an effort to keep up with this? How many of you have I put to sleep?
I'm keeping it up with it. Just
Yeah.
Okay.
give me a second.
Mia, I guess Mia is sitting upright, I think.
I am
Okay.
sitting upright.
All right. I think our other folk who were laying in the bed probably have fallen asleep by now. Okay.
Sir.
Say what?
I said, no, sir.
Who asleep?
I don't know. I have to watch you jokers. I have to watch y'all. All right.
Sir, are you keeping the S2 in the count on purpose?
And what?
So if
The-
count.
Okay, no,
one-
what I've done is later on I'm going to read 2 strings. Is that clear?
Oh, okay. So
I
you're
just commented it out the one I'm using 2.
that probably would have been smarter. Now I have to
Yeah,
return.
so that way I don't do a lot of typing. All right. So let's talk about this thing. Suppose I type in Edward space Jones. What's the output going to be?
Edward space Jones.
Okay. Well, how many are ready to find out?
I am.
Okay. So I'm Edward space Jones. And the output is, oh shoot. Dang. Output is not Edward Jones. Shoot. Explain, please.
Okay, so the way that this program works is it stops at the spaces. So since you typed Edward space Jones, it only gives you Edward.
Okay. Now, what you're saying is okay, but you're connecting it to the wrong thing. What I've been learning y'all about all day, okay? Do y'all have anybody who talks that way to y'all? I'm gonna learn you something.
No.
Y'all are too modern. You're too modern. You need to go back a generation or 2. Man, I miss people like that. Okay. What we're talking, this whole lecture for the last dang hour has been about this joker here, greater, greater.
Yes.
Y'all ready for me to give you a name for greater, greater?
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about it so long. You need to know what his name is. Greater, greater is called the insertion operator.
Okay. I'm definitely writing that
It's
down.
not insert. I got it wrong. Got it wrong. Somebody need to hit me. It's called the extraction operator.
Yeah.
Extraction operator?
Extract. It extracts value from the input. It extracts a value from the input. Pulls a value out of your input. Didn't we see earlier my input could have a lot of values in it? Greater, greater pulls the next value. The next greater, greater pulls the next value, and so forth. So it's called the extraction operator. And I explained to you a few minutes ago how it works. How does it work? It scans for a value. It skips over white space in the beginning. It picks up values. It picks up characters that belong to the data type, but it stops scanning when it picks up something that is invalid or when it hits white space. Is that clear? So when I type Edward Jones, what happened? It picks up characters. Any character is valid except for a space.
Okay.
When I'm dealing with a string, greater, greater does not pick up spaces. Is that clear? So it picks up the letters E, D, W, A, R, D. When it hits a space, it says, I'm done. I stop right there. Are you convinced of that?
Yes.
All right, let's see what happens when we go in, and this time we're going to, I don't know. Okay. I hope y'all vindicate me, okay? I hope when I see you on Thursday, y'all really understand this stuff and won't go crazy when you start making mistakes. So let's go back in here. And where am I? Okay. This time we're going to read 2 things and see what happens. If what I told you is true, what should happen? What should the output be?
It should be your full name.
Yeah, but only one part at a time.
Yeah.
It picks up one part, stops on the space, picks up another part, boom. So let me go, man. Let's go see what we got here. So we're going to compile it. And run it. I'm going to say Edward.Jones. Oh, What happened, y'all?
There's a mistake somewhere.
What's the mistake?
Were you able to put your other name in
Wait,
S2?
yes, you
I
had to put
never
Yeah,
read.
CN.
I only read one thing, right?
Okay.
My bad. Can't get it out. Okay. Edward Jones. And here we go. Good?
checking.
Now, this is kind of the punchline. If I want to read the whole thing, what do I do? If I want to read my whole name, if I want to read a line full of a whole bunch of words, how do I do it?
You put it all together, right? No space.
How can I read everything? Because it could be mine. I have a middle name. Y'all know that, don't you?
Yes, most people do.
Some people have 2 middle names. So if I want to read a whole name, do I say I got to read 2 things or 3 things or 4 things? Or do you want to say I want to read the whole thing?
It depends. It really depends on the
Okay,
question.
you didn't hear what I said. Do you want to read 2 names, like a first and last? Do you want to read 3? First, middle, last? Do you want to do 4, 5? Or do you say I just want the whole thing?
Just want the whole thing.
That's it. That's all I need y'all to say. I want the whole thing. I'm getting ready to show you how to read the whole thing. Are we game?
Yeah, I'm good.
Whole thing coming up. Whole thing coming up. All right. You're going to do some programs where you have to read the whole thing. Okay? And I'm getting ready to show you. It's something totally new. Can I erase this? I can't erase this thing. Dang. Can't even erase it. This thing is. Okay. Oh, it went away. All right. So, okay, let me ask you a question. How can we not read the whole thing? Is it clear I can never read the whole thing using greater greater? Is that clear?
Yes.
Why? Greater greater stops on spaces. Okay? Once it hits a space, it's over. So we can't use greater greater. We got to do something instead. Okay, I'm gonna call this. I gotta be cute here. Whole thing. Can I do that? May I? I have a string called whole thing. This doesn't work anymore. And this doesn't work anymore. There are times when you don't want to, if you're doodling around, you don't want to erase what you had before. Otherwise, you'll forget all the stuff you may have learned. So I just want to say the whole thing equals whole thing. Okay. I'm not done though. So how do I read something? I read it a different way, and this is what you got to learn. We read it using what we call a function. There's a program in C++ called getline, and you have to tell it 2 things. You have to say, where am I going to get it from? What does CN mean, y'all?
Input.
Input.
Stronger than that. Where's it coming
Read.
from? No. If I say CN, where's the data coming from?
The keyboard.
Keyboard. Very important. Keyboard. Okay? And what variable am I going to read this into? What variable?
S1.
I'm going to have a baby. Whole thing. Whole thing. Whole thing. All right? What have we learned? We got to use a function called getline. And you're saying, I want the whole thing. I don't want just one little word. I want everything at one time. I want to get it from whatever is typed in from the keyboard. But Leah's not eating today. Wait a minute now. Oh, man. And I want to read it into a variable. Here's a variable I want to read it into. So y'all ready? How many of y'all are doing this? How many are kind of keeping up?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Jones, so regarding get lines, so you use that to get information from another tab?
No, it means I can type in a whole line of stuff with spaces in it, and it picks up everything, including the spaces.
Okay.
When I'm reading numbers, I really don't want to have spaces. The spaces merely separate stuff, right? If I type in numeric input, I use spaces to separate the values. If I want to type in a string like a line of words and stuff, I want to read the whole thing. I don't want to stop on the first space that I hit. So this getline will read everything that's typed in up until they hit enter. All right, so let's roll with that and see what we got. All right, I'm gonna run it. The fat cat ate and fell asleep. I have a cat. I have like a 10, 11, 12-year-old cat. And instead of the cat will not gain weight. Isn't that interesting? A lot of times you see these big cats, and mine is just slender. Okay, is this okay?
No, let me try it. It's working.
Did it not read everything we typed in? Spaces and all. Spaces and all. Okay. Scary. Okay. Okay.
Dr. Jones, I have a quick question again.
Yeah.
So getline can only be used for CN, or can I also use for C out?
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned this. Okay. Because I gotta do some talking to y'all about some stuff. Let's talk about mistakes that I see. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna try to compile any of this. I'm just gonna show you some mistakes that I see all the time. Here's one mistake. I'm gonna just put it at the bottom. This is called mistakes. What is this I have at the bottom? What is all this stuff here? What is all that? It's a who?
Empty space.
No, y'all got little names for stuff. What is this here? What line is this? What do you call this line?
Comment?
Comment. And what is this down here?
Single comment?
It's a comment. It's like a block of comments, right? All of this slash star all the way to star slash, everything I put in here is a comment. So I'm going to go in here and put some mistakes. I've seen people do this. I've seen people say CN, X, Y, and inline. I've seen that. How many of you have tried that?
I have.
I know you have. Let's talk about the incongruity of it. Incongruity means things just don't fit. They're kind of the opposite. When I say inline, am I talking about input or output?
Output?
Always and only. Inline says output. What does it really mean?
When you're outputting the information on the screen, it just stops it right then and there. So
No. It really, they call it, it's a funny name. It really means skip a line. It doesn't mean inline. It means skip a line. Right?
Sure.
It means skip a line. So if I'm doing input, how can I mix input and output? If you do that, the compiler will scream at you saying, I can't do that. Got it? So let me just make a note here.
Yes, sir.
What this is saying is that inline is output only. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
What else have I seen? I've seen this. Okay. What's the problem here? The
Is there no
operator,
greater after CL?
You're
greater is input operator, isn't it?
yes.
Only. What's the discrepancy? What about C out?
See out. You're supposed to go the other way.
C out is an output stream, right?
Yes.
So you're mixing input and output. Does that make sense? The
Yes.
compiler will say there's a C out, and then when you say greater, say that ain't no output. It won't tell you that way, but it'll say, ugh. It'll give you a long message which simply says, for C out, I don't do this. Same thing will happen up here. For CN, CN and inline don't go together, okay? I've seen this also. I've seen people say CN enter X followed by X, okay? How many have tried that? It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. What is wrong with that? Okay. I'm
I don't think
stressing.
you'll have to say the enter part for X.
No, there's
Can
a
you only use quotes for output?
Yeah, and what else? Something stronger. Must be followed by what? A variable. Okay? That's the rule. What does a greater do? It gets a value from the input and puts it into a variable. Is that true?
Yes.
It gets a value and puts it into a variable. So greater says get a value. The variable says where to put it. How many people are left? How many people have I put to sleep today? Most of y'all still here. I'm proud. Okay? Y'all are tough. Y'all see these mistakes that's easy to make? Okay. Good.
Yes. So
I
wait,
made
for the last one, when you mean it must be followed by a variable, how would you do that correctly?
put a variable here. Okay. What I'm saying is this is nonsense, right?
Yeah.
This part here is nonsense because what is required here is a variable, nothing but a variable.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay?
So instead of writing enter X, we'll just put X.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
No, let me tell you what people, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to they're trying to read some data in one statement when in fact to read data requires how many?
Two.
Two. It requires this, which is output, followed by input, doesn't it? They're trying to combine those into one thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
And that was your motive. You had the right idea, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right idea, bad execution. Okay? What other mistakes have we made? These are kind of the common ones. Using the wrong operator. Using the wrong operator. Okay. Okay. There's one or two more things I've got to do. You guys did the Ohm's law, right? How many understood how to do it? Y'all just did something.
We went over it in class.
What class?
The last class.
Who did it? Me?
Yeah.
I was not high. No, I wasn't. I was not. I was not out of my head. Are you sure we did?
We went over the basics of
Wind
it in
chill,
class.
wind chill.
Oh, you mean wind chill.
Wind chill, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do in get out. Okay, let me tell you what we're trying to do. We're going to show you how to do some mathematical operations. Okay. The notes may carry you through all this stuff. I am not sure. So let's go ahead and get our little thing going here. The name of this guy is we're going to demonstrate math functions. You guys know about square root, you know about sines and cosines and logs and all that stuff, correct?
Yes, sir.
We're not going to do all that here, but what I want to point out to you is that if you want to do engineering type of math where you use square roots and stuff like that, you've got to include another library called CMath. Got it? Second thing I want to tell you, CMath kind of works using doubles and double. In the past, we've used float, and I've said there's not a lot of difference. Until you start using these math functions, life gets much easier if you use doubles. So I'm going to say this is 4 equals 4. And I'm going to say double 25. Too long. No. Okay. And now I'm going to show you how to do a few things, okay? There's 2 ways to raise a number to a power. There are 2 ways. If I want to say double, I'm getting too cute. Let me not get this cute. Let me just do some basic stuff. Why? Shoot, don't get cute.
I have a question, Dr. Jones.
Uh-huh.
Regarding like the I would say line 2, like when it said double x equals 4.00.
Yeah.
Can you say constant? Would you like, just as a question, could I put constant?
We're not doing constants yet. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
That adds a little twist. If you follow it, you're fine, okay?
All right.
But for now, we don't want to muddy the water. Now, if I want to calculate z being the square of x, how would we do it? X times x. Isn't that squaring? Isn't that what that is?
Yes.
So we can go ahead and say, we can do it by not trying to be smart. Just say x squared equals, and we'll live what comes out, z. All right. Good?
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead and try to compile this and see what happens. I'll let you look at it. Is everybody on board with this?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's give it a run. And boom, boom, boom. Looks all right, huh? Go back in. There's another way to accomplish the same thing. We're going to call this W. And we can call a function called pow. And this function takes a number and raises it to an exponent, raises it to a power. So we want to take x and raise it to 2, okay? And then we're going to say x squared again is w. And see what how those compare. Pow is a function. It's like in math, right? It has 2 arguments. The first argument is the base. The second is the exponent. It will raise x to the 2nd power. And when we do that, we get the same answer. So we've shown you 2 ways to do the same thing. So far, so good? Now, your turn. This time, what I want to do is I want to take the square root. Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Square root. Right? Now, how can we do the square root? Can I get the square root by multiplying 2 numbers? No, so that part won't work. This guy right here won't work anymore. Can we use pow to take the square root?
No, sir.
Why not? How many have had calculus? How many have had calculus? Okay, x to the 1/2 power means what?
Oh, square root.
Means what?
Square root.
Yeah, x to the 1/3 power means the cube root, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
You got it now? So why don't we say R1, R2, the roots. So we're going to say R1 is the square root of x. So we can now say what? We can raise x to the power of 0.5. And we're going to output let's make sure this works. How many are following me? The function pow allows us to take a value and raise it to some power.
Yes, sir.
We can raise it to a power that increases its value, or we can take various kinds of roots by having a fractional exponent. So let's give it a shot. And square root, oh shoot, what's going on here? This is way wrong, isn't it? Right? We messed up somewhere along in here. Let's see. Z. Oh, I put in the wrong variable here, right? W was the squared. I didn't put R1 here. Okay. I calculated R1. I need to display R1. I didn't do that. Scary. Okay. And does that look right? So far, so good. Now, let's do it a second way, because there's a function called square root. There's a function called square root. I can do this, and it's not called power, it's SQRT. And how many arguments does this function need? 1 or 2? This is calculus, 1 or 2?
1.
Just 1, just X, that's all.
Because that's the variable, right?
And that's it. We ought to get the same answer. Let's back up and show it in a minute. Did I compile this? No. Okay. Okay. We're going to try to bring it in. All right, let's summarize what we've learned. We have learned there's different ways of calculating values. Okay, one way, I'm going to do this at the bottom again. This is a summary. One way is using operators. We can say plus, minus, times, divide. I can combine things just by doing arithmetic operators. You agree? We've also seen that we can get values by functions. Okay? And a function looks like a name, and the key thing is some parentheses. You got to say some argument. Like in math, right? Like in math. If I want sign, I say sign and put an X in there, put an argument in there. And tonight we've seen 2 functions. We've seen mathematical functions. Okay, and this is in pound include CMath. But we've also seen some functions for inputs. Okay, namely we've seen get line. We have a name of a stream and a variable. Okay. So we've kind of enlarged how we can manipulate things within our program. Is everybody tight? Now I think when you do the wind chill, you've got to take the square root of something. You got to do something that may require you to use functions. How many have looked at wind chill? Am I saying the
I
right
looked
stuff?
at it.
Don't you need to take the square root of something?
Yes,
Yeah, I
sir.
believe so.
Yeah. So, and I've kind of shown you what's required there. Now, a couple of odds and ends. The videos for chapter 2, how many watched them?
I did.
Were they decent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they cover some of, did they cover anything I talked about?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So y'all should have a good handle. Did they talk about getline? Probably not.
No, I don't believe so, but
Okay.
I watched them fast, so I would know.
Okay. So 1 or 2 of you are having trouble playing the videos. Who had a problem playing them?
I did.
Are you the only one?
I don't know if it's because my internet or my laptop, but yeah, it wasn't letting me play them on my phone or the laptop.
Okay, now what computer do you have?
Mac.
A big Mac or a little Mac?
A little one.
So it's not a strong one? Okay.
It's a laptop. I don't know.
Why are you laughing, Mia? Huh?
Because I know what you mean, but the way you're saying it is funny.
Where's Aaliyah? Aaliyah, I thought you were going to bring out a Big Mac and start eating it.
No.
I know. So now, do the videos have are they on YouTube or are they stored in Canvas?
You mean the supplemental videos?
No,
Videos
no.
are recording.
The recordings in Canvas, are they stored inside of Canvas, or they do they give you a link to YouTube?
No, they in Canvas.
Okay,
In Canvas.
because if there was a link to YouTube, you may be able to play them from YouTube. So, now I have actually compiled a list of all the videos I have, and I will probably post that. Did I post that list? No. I can post it, and most of them are on YouTube, and they kind of cover some of the same stuff. So that would be a plan B for you if you needed a plan B. All right. I need to remind you that we have tutors. How many have sought help from tutors? How many are about ready to? How many are about ready to get some help from tutors? Okay. Now I suggest that you go ahead, and you might have to shop around, if you know what I'm talking about. You follow me? There are several tutors who tutor this, and you may need to fill them out and say, I feel comfortable here, I don't feel comfortable there. Okay. Are you in, Jalen, are you ready to go shoot the ball, or are you gonna finish off class first? Huh?
I am most definitely staying in class, sir. I pay too much to not be in this class.
Put the ball down, though. Don't be
Oh,
putting
it's down. It's down, coach.
Okay, all right. That's what I need to do. Okay, might just know it's been raining. What else? The practice exercises, please confirm to yourself that they are there and that you're able to complete them. If I were you, I would go do at least one and make sure that one score shows up. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, so all the Cengage assignments are due tomorrow, right? You said?
I didn't say all that.
Oh, I heard that part.
For exercises too, you need to get those done. Many of you were telling me that you had already done them, except that the scores didn't show up.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it could be that if you go back into Cengage and just touch them, they may submit.
Like resubmit it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Verify that. The sooner you do that, and if you're successful, just send me an email and say it works for me, then I will sleep well tonight. Okay? Because it's been worrying me. Okay, I think with that, I gotta let you go. I'm not sure if today was the right stuff, but there are times when I have to show you stuff and hope that I am convincing you of how things work. And again, because we have the video, it makes sense for some of y'all to make sure you try what we have tried in class. This is not a history class. You don't learn much by reading. Is that clear? You learn a lot by doing, and you learn even more when you trial and error, do a little something and tinker with it. With that, I got to let you go. Go back to that list of things that you got to know how to do. Make sure you know how to do them. Next class period, I will give you another little check-in. I'm going to see how y'all are doing with some of these things. Good enough? And with that, to all a good night. Anybody need to hang around? Raise your hand if you need to hang around. Okay, Jordan. Is your hand up, Mia? Okay, use the gesture on Zoom. There's a animation.
Did you not see it?
I didn't see it. I see your real hand.
I went like this.
I see it. It's in a funny place. All right, so I will hang around for y'all after about a 3-minute smoke break. I'll be back. Okay, to the rest of y'all, good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, a Mia and 2 Jordans. Oh boy. Deandra! Deandra!
Yes.
How's my lady?
I'm here.
Okay, it's good to see you. You know that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to put these 2 things I was working on. I think I'm gonna stick them somewhere in Canvas so y'all can refer to that. So, whew, boy. Word
My
is,
only question, Mr. Jones, was I missed the I know you wanted to meet with us individually, like last week. I missed all that. So I just wanted
see
to,
that? See that?
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Well, what I care about is, do you feel like you're on top of stuff?
Yeah, I took the weekend to get everything done. I'm just gonna do
Okay.
the windshield assignment.
Okay, good. So I think you're good to go then, right?
Yeah, I should be.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. It was for your sake and for me to kind of get a feel. All right, you can go now. Bye, lady.
All right. What's up, Mr. Jones?
Hey,
The only question I really had on,
I gotta see your mug, man. Get closer or something. You
you
look
can't
like
see me?
I can't really see your face.
Oh,
Bring it down. Bring your camera down a little bit. I'm seeing the top of
now.
your head.
Oh, okay,
Top of
okay,
your,
okay.
yeah, that's
You
more
can see me
like it.
now?
That's more better.
But so for some reason I have like your class on my Cengage. I have like I'm signed up for your class twice. So like when I was going on Cengage or whatever, on one of your like class one of the courses, it's just straight all the assignments are 0. But then on one of the other ones, like the same class, but I signed up for it twice. The other one, it has like the assignments that I did. You understand what I'm saying? So I just don't know what I should do from there.
Well, if you look at your grades in Canvas,
Mhm.
do you see all zeros or do you see some things you did?
I see some grades, but a lot of the Cengage work is like a lot of zeros. Cause I know on one of the like courses, like cause I'm signed up on it twice, like one of them has just a bunch of zeros on it, and then the other one has like some of the assignments that I did.
You're stressing me, man. Let's see. Because I don't know the answer. I am not an expert on this.
Yeah, I was trying to call them earlier today. Like I was trying to call the customer service, but they had me on hold for like an hour, and they still didn't like give me a what do you
Yeah.
call it, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
person to talk to.
Because this thing, I think they're totally swamped.
Mm.
Now, I think what we may have to do is my TA is willing to sit down with you
Mm.
and kind of record for me things you have scores for.
Okay.
And that way it doesn't go to waste.
Okay. Because I
Um,
think that was the issue that I was having this weekend with opening the assignments, because I had
yeah.
emailed you and stuff like that, and that's probably why I didn't realize it. I didn't realize the issue until I actually checked my like stuff today and realized that I was signed up for your class like twice for some reason.
You signed up, do you mean the class or the textbook?
Like you know how on like Cengage Mind Tap or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, can I share my screen and show you real quick what it's like, what it's
Please
looking like?
do. Please do.
All right. Okay, so
I thought
if
you had
you,
a stocking on your head.
it's a
People still do
do-rag.
that.
It's a do-rag.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Well, back in our day, we didn't have a rag. We just had a woman's stocking we put on our head.
but if you see where my mouse is, right? This is your class, but it's like twice. So like the first one right here
Click
is
on
the
that.
one that's being, click on it. The first one here is the one that's already being shown.
Okay, go
And
back
it's
though, go back. Let me see the other one. You had
the
2.
other one. This is the other one.
Does it have my name on it?
Yeah, they both have your name on it. Like it's both, like they're both your course. But you see, like this one has all the like zeros on the assignments that I was talking about.
And you're not sure which one you worked in.
I worked on the first one because I like on the first one it has because I did the programming 2-2 and the 2-3 ones before, and I just couldn't find it until I realized it was on like 2 separate courses or whatever. But like these two, this is the assignments that I actually did, and like this is the course that I actually did it on.
Okay. Make sure we're straight. So those are 2 exercises you did. What about the others?
I haven't finished the other ones because I had thought that like my account was like I didn't think that it was all like, you know,
Okay.
I thought it was all the same account, but I mean,
okay, let's do this then. Go in there and check the due date. Go in and check the due dates on the Unit 2 exercises.
Okay. Talking about these ones.
Yeah. What's the due date say?
Let me see.
Doesn't have a date.
Yeah, I didn't see a date.
Should be a date.
Yeah, it just tells me to start the assignment.
Okay, go into the other class and see if it has a due date.
Okay, let me see.
This has been about the biggest mess I have had to endure in forever.
See this. You see, like, yeah, this one has due dates on it.
Now, watch this. This is the one you should be using.
This is the one I should be using?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know that I've gotten the due date straight.
Okay.
And I think if you do the exercise, it'll probably take it here.
Oh, okay, okay. So let's just go straight over to Canvas from here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna start doing them then, because that's the only thing I was really concerned about.
But if I were you, I would make sure that once you, like if you do one you did before, you ought to be able to get it real fast. And you ought to see that the score is recorded here. And you should also see it over in Canvas.
Okay.
If that happens for you, send me an email saying that it's working.
All right. I'm gonna do the 2-2, and then I'm gonna let you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna email you and let you know.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan West now. Okay, 2 Jordans. Do y'all know each other?
Yeah, we do.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Jordan West. Yeah.
How?
It was because of some club stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Club as in entertainment club?
What you mean by entertainment? Not a club, but like a club on campus type
Organization.
Club. Yeah, organization.
Okay.
Organization. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, Dr. Jones.
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
Oh, shoot, I needed to stop the recording. Dang. Okay, you know what I need to do? I can stop the recording. Y'all have the